So this video right here is about building sliding shelf units. Started out, I was gonna build 2, and now I'm on day 6 of a 2-day build. Why? Because I'm building 4 now. 4. Good Lord. I thought this video would be 20 minutes long, and it turned out just this section is like 12 minutes long. So I don't really want to make half-hour long videos because it takes too damn long to make them. I'll spend the next 3 weeks trying to edit them all. So I'm going to cut them down to 15 minutes and we'll just put it in 2 parts. This is mainly for the newbies and the people that are just learning woodworking. If you have a table saw, a joiner, and a planer, it's all you need for this project here. Building custom products and making money at it requires a certain speed, precision, and as close to perfection as you can get. So there's a sequence that we're gonna follow, and I'm gonna explain that sequence to you today. This is not gonna be a long video. This is like 15 minutes, mainly just explanation on how everything's gonna be done. And it's really fast. I realized that when I was editing it. It's super fast, so drink some coffee and get ready to go, because I'm just gonna start talking like I always do. We're gonna have some tidbits of what's upcoming in the next video, so stay tuned for that. That's the end of the video. Somebody was just hit by lightning. You hear that? Yeah, that's awesome. My dog's gonna be freaking out now. The next video will be coming up shortly. It's almost about 3/4 of the way edited. This one, all I gotta do is add this on the front of it, and it should be done. So at the end of this video, I'll explain to you exactly how to pick the perfect board. It might look good, it might be straight, it might be the perfect color, it might be all these things, but if you don't do this one test, you could wind up spending $80 on a board that's worthless. Stay tuned, you'll find out. So if you have any questions or comments, please comment below and subscribe and all that baloney. Let's get to the video. Oh boy, here we go. Hope you drink coffee because you're gonna need it. Gotta be awake for this thing. Oh, poop. Hey everybody, Kevin here from HumboldtCraftworks. Welcome back to another episode of Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. I'm back from my little hiatus, vacation from the YouTubes. I needed a break from YouTube, I needed a break from work, I needed a break from everything. But I'm back. Today's video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a sliding shelf unit. We're gonna do a 3-shelfer and a 4-shelfer. 3 more. So we're gonna build this the fastest, simplest, easiest way possible. We're gonna fancy up something that looks boring. I'll put a picture of a sliding shelf unit right here. They build fancy ones and they build crappy ones, and you can see some of them for like $40. This one's $40. There's $20 in wood. I'm gonna sell it to you for $40 plus $900 in shipping.
Nice.
We're not gonna do that. Today we're gonna build stuff out of hardwoods. Not pine, not cedar, not fir, hardwood. The last couple of months when I've been gone, I've emptied out my shed, cleaned out my shop, moved all my camera gear into one room, and I've got everything set up so I can actually start building things and selling them online. That's what I originally planned to do. I bought SketchUp, and I've been learning how to use SketchUp for a while. It's kind of monotonous and boring. I'll put a picture of this, what we're gonna build right here from SketchUp, and I figured out how to automate it so it'll go back and forth. You see that? This is what we're gonna build, but I actually changed it a little bit so it's actually gonna be a little wider and a little deeper. We want to build projects that stand out. You make things to last a lifetime, you don't build crap. A lot of the stuff you see on Etsy for like $50 is crap, and there's other stuff that looks pretty nice and it's $400 and something. So I'm going to walk you through every single step from beginning to end, and at the very end we're probably going to take some Rubio Monocoat and wipe this down a couple times and just oil it. All right, everybody, before we get started, let's do a little talking about drawings and wood, because I've seen a lot of people make a lot of mistakes, and it doesn't really matter how you make your drawings, whether you draw it on a piece of paper like this, like I do, or with a drafting table, or you use like SketchUp, AutoCAD, or CAD programs, or whatever works fastest for you, so you can get an accurate, scale-size drawing. Make sure that you're happy with the way it looks when it's to scale. Then you make yourself a cut list, figure out your board footage, and you go to purchase your wood. So what we're doing today is we're going to build stuff out of white oak, walnut, cherry, and sapele. I wasn't going to do that. I was just going to build 2. Then I realized I had a bunch of material that I already milled up. That was all those woods. And then I went to the store and spent $620 on lumber because I didn't want to use all the curly wood because you won't see the back and you won't see the shelves. So I just made the faces all beautiful. So when you're at the lumber yard, you have your board footage, and always add like 10 or 15% more just in case you screw something up. Surface 4 side is what I usually stay away from. I purchase most of all my material, either rough lumber or hit and miss. Rough lumber looks like this right here. This is rough. Usually the whole thing looks like this. Rough lumber is the thickest. For 4/4, it's probably 15/16 to an inch thick. Hit and miss, which this is right here. This is hit and miss. This is how this board came. It's a little skinnier. It's more like 7/8 of an inch thick. Sometimes 15/16, but it's hit and miss, so you can kind of see the grain. Most all lumber doesn't come straight lined like this board here. As you can see right here, they all don't come straight lined. So if you're at a place that has a straight line machine, have them straight line it. It's very cheap to do. But the surface 4-side like this, which it comes all 4 sides, sometimes the edges aren't square, sometimes they're twisted, they have knots in them that where you don't want them, they're bowed and cupped. So how are we going to go about making all this lumber that's all twisted and ugly and stuff flat? Well, we have the cut list and we know what all the pieces are. So the longest piece on your cut list is where you're going to start. And for me, it was 36 inches. If I need a piece that's going to be finished at 36 inches, I need to make it bigger by another 6 or 7 inches because my planer snipes. I have planer snipe and I have all the little pieces to prove it. Planer snipe, right there, there's a snipe there. I got it as close as I can get it. It still snipes a little bit. So I make all the parts I need. Let's say they're 27, I rough mill them at 36. If it's 36, I rough mill them at like 45. So if I need 36 inches, I'm just gonna cross cut it longer than I need. So when I run it through the planer, I cut the snipes off and we're good to go. So we're gonna rough mill all the parts, the longest parts, we're gonna label them all either on the edge or the very end, because what we're gonna do next is we're gonna joint one edge. We're gonna joint one edge as straight as we can get it. Then you're gonna come onto the table saw and you're gonna rough mill the width. Let's say we have 3.5 inch boards. We're gonna mill them to 4 inches and we take the other side and we can join it and then we can rip it to another 4 inches if that works. So we got 4 inches wide, we got a joint piece. The whole stack is the same thing. You're doing all of it at once. That way you're just going through the whole pile of wood, you're joining, you're ripping, and now you're going to make everything flat. And this is where it takes some time. When I face joint anything, I go tips down. Regardless of what side the face is, tips down is like this. These are the tips here, and if it was like this, this is how you want to join it. You want to take the tips off first to flatten it out. You don't want to try to take the belly out of it because it'll rock like this on you. And there's an entire video over here. You don't have to watch the whole thing, but I explain literally how to face joint huge boards, put an edge on them the whole 9 yards. Okay, so instead of having it down like this and trying to take the belly out of it, we're going to take the tips off of it. Once we get that down, you got to use calipers because depending on how thick your wood started out, we want to joint that down, face joint it till it's 13/16, and it's the ends you have to worry about the most. You don't want to get less than 13/16 for a 3/4 inch thick board because we're going to take it once we get it all flat like that, flip it over and plane it to 3/4 of an inch. That was a lot to absorb, I'm sure. We've cross-cut them to manageable sizes. We jointed an edge. We've rough milled them a 1/2 inch bigger than we need. We face jointed them now. So once it's face jointed, we're going to take all the parts, because we've done all the parts at once. We're doing the same process over and over and over and over again because it's more efficient to do it that way. Then you're going to go to your planer. You're going to put a test piece through. Always make a test piece. And then you're going to run all the parts through in one time, and you're going to plug up your damn dust collector. All right, so once we have everything planed, we're going to return to the table saw. We're going to go from 4 inches, and we're going to take it to 3.5. We want to set the saw to 3 9/16, which is a 16th larger. Have your joiner set it a 16th. Use a practice piece. Rip it, join the edge, take your calipers and measure. Is that actually 3.5? And if it's on the money 3.5 and you're good with it, then continue on until you're done. Everything is ripped to size, everything's planed to thickness. Now you need to cross cut everything, and you're gonna do the same exact thing in the cross cut. So you can use your chop saw, cut the ends off, and you cross cut it to size. You'll see me do it in this video. I do it a bunch. When you're cross cutting things to size, don't go back and forth. This project I have 36 inch, 27 inch, and 7 inch parts. I might have started with the short ones first, cut everything to 7, all the 7s are stacked up. I think there's eight of these parts. Then I cut the 4 parts that were 27, all the same size. Then I went to the 36 inch parts and cut all of those at the same exact time. I didn't bounce in between, I didn't go from 36 to 7, I just did them all at the same time. You'll save time, you'll be more accurate. Don't bounce back and forth between things. Rip them all, join them all, make sure they're all done at the same time. Now if you have to stop, don't change anything, just leave it all there, go eat dinner, come back, and then do it all over again. Especially with finger joints. You want to make sure everything's milled at the same time, it's all the same thickness, you do everything at the same time. And one other little bonus tip, when you're out looking for wood, if you're looking for wood and you're not sure if it has an internal crack, what you want to do is drop it on the floor in the very end. And here it says, but it'll definitely make a different noise. Cherry, sounds good. More madrone here. When you drop a board and it's broken or it's got a check in it or a flat check or something internal that you can't see, and it doesn't make that little vibraty, nice little soundy noise that sounds like a musical instrument, it's probably not a good board. Don't buy it. Find a board with a crack in it that you can see and drop it. Boom. And then go find one that you can't find any cracks in it and drop it. You'll hear the difference, you'll feel the difference. One vibrates and sounds like it's dead, and the other one just kind of sings a little bit. All right, everybody, here we go. The one end's got a little mark on it where I squared everything up. We're just gonna butt everything into the fence and cut it. There it is, a little tiny thing. What is that, 7 pieces? 7 pieces of wood with a little shape in the front. The other thing we're gonna do is, right here, we're going to put 2 screws in the back of each one of these. So I'm gonna take this apart now, because I think I know what I'm gonna do now. All right, everybody, well, in this part of the video, you're about to see me screw up something so simple and stupid. That's what happens when you have a big lunch and you go back to work and you're on autopilot and you don't think. You have to think. You always have to be on your toes, especially around tools. Accidents happen and stupid mistakes happen. Everybody's different. For me, it's always after lunch because my brain's like, oh, go take a nap. Probably should have. A little word of wisdom. It's not the end of the world. You could fix it. You could replace it. Don't freak out. Don't yell and scream. Don't throw your parts. I've worked with people that just, oh my God, it's the end of the world. And they start screaming for no freaking reason that they f***ed up something. Don't do that. Trust in yourself that you'll be able to fix it or something will come to you. If you have to step away, then do that. I couldn't believe I did something so stupid. I've been doing this a long time and I still make mistakes. So nobody's perfect. Don't freak out and enjoy the rest of this stupid video. The next video, I'll show you how I fixed it and what it looks like. If it was for a client and they wanted a specific thing, I'd be worried. This isn't. This is for people to purchase. And I've already got 2 of what I'm building here sold. So, yeah. Anyway, on with the show. Shit happens. Don't let it get the best of you. All right. Okay. So before we do anything else, I'm going to drill some holes in the center of this. So I'm just going to take these and I'm going to drill these by hand. Okay, right through there, boom.
Super genius.
And drill these out like this.
Loser.
Oh no.
No boogers.
Yeah, we're done.
Subscribe now.